Hello, welcome to the Tracy Show, and I am back with another video. I did not know that another inmate mistakenly was released from the parish detention center. The one where Antoine Massey and Derek Groves and all the 10 escaped, and they still haven't found Derek Groves yet. What? No, what? Y'all, listen to this.
Remember this chaotic scene. This is 10 inmates breaking out of a New Orleans jail earlier this year. Well, we have an update for you. Another manhunt underway right now for yet another inmate, but this time officials say it was staffers at the jail who let him walk out. CBS News reporter Katie Weiss has details.
Just over 2 months after this brazen breakout from a New Orleans jail, another inmate is on the run. This time after officials say they accidentally let out 30-year-old Khalil Bryan.
Even though it was a mistaken release from custody, you were on notice, you were a fugitive.
The Orleans Parish Sheriff says Bryan's release was a clerical mistake. He was confused with another inmate set for release sharing a similar last name.
The mistaken release of Khalil Bryant was a serious error, and as sheriff, I take full responsibility. While our systems are designed to catch these discrepancies, human error led to a breakdown in the verification process.
Bryan has an active warrant for aggravated assault with a weapon, among other charges, and has a criminal history related to burglary, assault, and drug violations. In May, 10 inmates fled the same jail after ripping a toilet from the wall and escaping through the hole. All but one have since been caught. It's a case that put increased scrutiny on the sheriff, who called that escape an inside job. More than a dozen people were charged with aiding the escapees, but Sterling Williams, a plumber at the jail, is the only employee who's been arrested. Williams has pleaded not guilty, and his lawyer says he's being used as a scapegoat. The sheriff has launched an investigation into Bryan's release.
I want the public to know this should not have happened. It was a failure of internal processes, and the public has every right to expect better.
That is sickening. No wonder that sheriff in trouble. But let me read you what I found about this Khalil Bryant. 2 deputies fired. 2 deputies fired after inmate mistakenly released from jail. That sheriff, she about to be fired. 2 deputies have been fired after an inmate was mistakenly released from a New Orleans jail, authorities said Thursday. Khalil Bryan, 30, was released from the Orleans Justice Center on July 25th due to a human error and not a system failure. According to the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, he remains at large, the sheriff's office said. Oh, Lordy. Bryan was let out by mistake when he was confused with another inmate with the same last name. Well, they didn't have the same first name. What? With the same last name? There's plenty of people in prison with the same last name. No. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. It's just like going to school and you have plenty of people with the same last name. Bryant, Jackson, Thompson. They didn't have the same first name. Okay, let me keep going. When he was confused with another inmate with the same last name. During the jail's overnight release process, and his identity was not properly verified, according to the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. The human error was compounded by inadequate protocol adherence, it said. You think? 2 deputies were terminated for a severe breach of duty and process, the sheriff's office said. Their names have not been released. 5 staff members have additionally been suspended due to procedural failure and negligence during the identity verification process. But I want to know, just because he had the same, that was very, very stupid. They must was getting ready to go home or something. I don't know. Just crazy. The sheriff's office said it's further implementing changes, including additional training on the release process and the mandatory review of all inmate releases by a supervisor in response of the incident. I have never in my life. This incident reflects a failure in execution, and we are taking full accountability, Orleans Parish Sheriff Susan Hudson said in a statement on Thursday. That's why you are in so much trouble, Susan. Okay, the people of New Orleans deserve a jail that operates with precision and professionalism, and they deserve a sheriff that operates in the same manner. The Orleans Justice Center is the same jail where 10 inmates escaped in May. One remains on the lam. I don't even know if y'all gonna catch him. At the time of his mistaken release, Brian was being held on charges including possession of stolen property, rug, paraphernalia, and resisting an officer, according to the New Orleans Police Department. He also has an active warrant for aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic abuse, I guess I can say that, CHILD, endangerment, and home invasion. He has a violent criminal history, including aggravated burglary, aggravated assault with a weapon, and aggravated criminal damage to property, according to New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kilpatrick. Khalil Bryant remains wanted. Well, Lordy, the error was discovered at 11:10 a.m. on July 25th, about 10 hours after he was mistakenly released. About 10 hours after he was released, they said, "Oh Lord, we let out the wrong man." Okay. They about as dumb as doorknob. The public was informed at 3:45 p.m. the next day. This is crazy. The Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office said Thursday it made a calculated decision not to alert the public right away regarding his mistaken release, and instead quietly began looking for Bryant at known addresses to avoid tipping him off, as well as notified other agencies and the victim. Authorities also did not deem him to be an immediate threat to the public because he was in custody primarily for nonviolent charges, the sheriff's office said. But if he's out, he ain't got no money, he might do something violent. The inmate with whom Bryant was confused, was ultimately released shortly before 11 p.m. on July 25th. The sheriff's office said, okay, so they let the one that wasn't supposed to get out. Then said, look here, the right one, you come on, you go ahead and go. Let me get you out the way. And then he gone, but the one that they let out by mistake, he's still out, along with Derek Groves. Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams previously said his office is not ruling out pursuing possible charges against the deputies who let Brian walk free, saying, we will follow the leads. Lord, if y'all black deputies, y'all going to jail. This is a deeply troubling incident that underscores the ongoing systematic issues surrounding the exercise of custody and control over detained individuals, Williams said in a statement last week. The failure to properly confirm the identity of an inmate prior to release is an unacceptable lapse that presents a real and immediate risk to public safety. Well, if you thought it was an immediate risk, you didn't let the public know immediately. And Susan, that's why you're being held in contempt of court. I can see why you're in trouble. You know, I was like kind of betting on you, but you might need to do something else, because I'm not. All of y'all need to do something else, because I'm not sure about what's going on in down there in New Orleans. Let me show this clip to y'all too.
Hudson was ordered to appear in court today and was just found to be in contempt of court. Investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein joining us now live, was inside of the courtroom. Now, Mike, what is the origin of this dispute?
Well, this contempt order, and the judges ruled en banc as a group that Sheriff Susan Hudson is held in contempt for not staffing weekend court for magistrate. That was something that was shut down during COVID. Obviously, the courthouse has since opened Monday through Friday, but the sheriff is still not providing deputies to staff the weekend magistrate hearings. The judges finally issued an order a couple of weeks ago that they were going to open this past Saturday. The sheriff did not provide deputies, and thus we had several hours of hearing in which 7 of the judges grilled the attorney for Susan Hudson on why she did not follow the order. John Williams, the attorney, answered that the sheriff simply does not have the deputies. She doesn't have the resources. She doesn't have the money to staff the court on the weekends. So the result was the sheriff held in contempt of court and given a date of August 4th to comply starting this Saturday, when the court said that once again the sheriff is on notice to provide deputies for security and transport of inmate defendants, or risk a $500 a day fine or possibly jail time. The attorney for the sheriff's office said he plans to immediately appeal this contempt order, so we will have to see. They did not commit to having the deputies available to staff this Saturday section of court just coming up in a few days. So we'll have to see what happens. But it was a charged atmosphere, and to a packed courtroom, obviously political implications with the sheriff running for re-election in a hotly contested re-election effort. So we will just have to wait and see how all this plays out. But I can tell you, here at Tulane and Broad Criminal District Court, tensions were high, and Sheriff Susan Hudson has been held in contempt.
All right, we know you're going to continue to follow that for us, Mike. We appreciate the update.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Peace.